When people walk into a building and notice a smooth, glossy floor, most of them don't think twice about it. They might assume it's just a design choice, or that it was done to make the space look more modern. But in architecture, surfaces like these are rarely just about appearance. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about a material that quietly supports many buildings without drawing much attention to itself. Epoxy. Epoxy is not paint, and it's not simply a decorative coating. It's a resin-based material that starts as a liquid and gradually hardens into a continuous, seamless surface. Once cured, it becomes a single layer with no joints, no gaps, and very few places for dirt or moisture to hide. This is one of the main reasons epoxy appears so often in parking structures, industrial facilities, hospitals, laboratories, and increasingly, modern architectural spaces. Architects and engineers tend to choose epoxy not because it looks impressive, but because it behaves in a predictable way. A seamless surface is easier to clean, easier to inspect, and easier to maintain over time. From a building management perspective, that predictability matters far more than aesthetics. Epoxy surfaces resist chemical spills, reduce dust accumulation, and handle repeated use without changing their basic performance. That reliability is often more valuable than any visual effect. However, epoxy also reveals an important truth about architecture. Materials rarely fail on their own. When epoxy floors crack, bubble, or peel, the issue is almost never the epoxy itself. The real problem is usually underneath. Moisture trapped in the concrete, poor surface preparation, or structural movement can all push their way to the surface over time. Epoxy doesn't hide these problems. Instead, it exposes them. That's why epoxy is often described as unforgiving. It requires careful planning, proper preparation, and experienced execution. In many ways, epoxy acts like a test. If everything below it is done correctly, the result is clean, durable, and long-lasting. If not, the surface will make those mistakes visible. In architectural design, epoxy is rarely the element that defines a building's identity. It doesn't decide the shape of the structure or the way light enters a space. Instead, it plays a supporting role. Once the structure is complete and the major decisions are made, epoxy helps transform raw construction into a functional environment. It turns unfinished floors into usable surfaces. It supports circulation, hygiene, and long-term durability. You don't notice epoxy when it works well, and that's exactly the point. Architecture is full of materials like this. Materials that aren't meant to stand out, but are designed to quietly handle stress, time, and repeated use. Epoxy represents a broader idea in building design. Good architecture isn't only about form or style. It's about how materials respond to real conditions, real users, and real wear. So the next time you see a perfectly smooth, reflective floor, it might be worth pausing for a moment. That surface is not just there to look clean. It's there to reduce uncertainty, simplify maintenance, and extend the usable life of the space. And that's why epoxy continues to play such an important role in modern architecture.